What's going on, guys? We were here with Brandon Sevitz. He got first place at the OTS in Columbus, Ohio, and he played, what'd you play?
BYSTIAL Control.
BYSTIAL Control. And before we get into the deck list, do you want to say what your matchups were?
Yeah, I played a little bit of everything. Cash, Labyrinth, Sword Soul, Branded, Trap Trick. So yeah, a little bit of everything.
Nice, very nice. All right, let's just get right to the deck list. Oh, and this is the mat. It looks really nice, by the way.
Yeah, I'm
really
playing
nice.
A Banish Light and Dark deck, so I wanted the Banish Light and Dark mat.
Very nice. With the amazing Penguin Soldier.
Oh, hey, best card, best card.
All right, let's get into it.
So the main engine of the deck is BYSTIALs. So it's not Dragon Link, you're not playing rockets and a bunch of stuff like that. You're just trying to control the game with the spells and traps that this gets you. So this gets you to this or the spells and traps, so that's why you play 3 and 3. Just 2 magma. It's not as much of a hand trap as it was last format. You just mainly want it in the deck for the search effect in the end phase, and you're able to loop it with the branded cards. And then just 1 Druid Worm, 1 Ball Drake, just good utility. So you only need 1 of them, and like I said, you can recycle it. 2 of the spell, this lets you recycle everything. 1 of the trap. This just lets you grind with every deck. The reason I wanted to play this deck was this engine works very well in the way I built the deck against a lot of rogue decks. If you go first against Cash, you're usually fine as well. Going second can be tough, but you play like a lot of non-engine for that. So you're just trying to control the game with these cards, and then everything else kind of supports the BYSTIAL engine.
Very nice, very nice.
So one of the first supplement engines was Chamber and Tiding. This just gives you a normal summon, additional disruption. You're usually just going for like seals, the spell and trap, and that's about it. Hand traps, this to back it up. The BYSTIALs let you play on your opponent's turn a bit to just get more bodies, more things for them to get through. You're just trying to not die, and then this deck has insane follow-up. So this gives you more follow-up. The second one, you can search to discard off Ravine, summon this back, so you have a lot of extenders to go for game. The other supplement cards for the BYSTIALs are these. So Safer is a starter, works really well with the BYSTIALs. Obviously, you can cycle a Sorneer out to get magma. Samsara is a little bit different. It just has a graveyard effect that lets you add back a level 5 or higher dragon from the grave. So it's very similar to Safer. If you already have this, you can go for this. You play Ravine and you grab it most turn 1s. So it gives you 2 add backs every single turn. And the nice thing with Samsara is it can also add back things like I played Nocto. You're just trying to draw into your non-engine disruption cards, more follow-up. So after turn 1, this is basically a Rhoda. You can add back any of the BYSTIAL monsters or the Nocto vision.
I was gonna ask real quickly, the level 1 Samsara, did that ever like brick for you or anything, or just?
Nope. No, it's you can just normal it, make Strike Dragon with it, and then summon out the Nocto. You can always banish it to summon out the BYSTIAL still.
Ah, right.
So it gets you something in grave. Usually the only problem with the deck is if you can't get anything in the graveyard. So it helps with that worst case scenario, and then it's just insane follow up otherwise.
Very nice.
The Ravine that I mentioned, you're grabbing this every turn.
Yep.
This ensures that even if they like break your board, whatever, you have whatever you draw for turn, you can discard, send Samsara or Safer, and then add back a BYSTIAL, keep playing. And then the regain is going to give you a draw every turn and bodies, so it's just insane follow-up. The Chaos Engine, 3 space, and then the Levy and the little dragons. I almost thought about cutting these, but you just need some extra bodies sometimes, and then you need something else to add other than Lebellion off of this. So it just gives you more things in deck. But they're good, gives you a lot of advantage. Safer's nice. You side it out sometimes, but the removal effect is very nice. Also against Cash, if you go first in setup and they like break your board for the most part, but they can't kill you, Magma adds this on the follow-up. First thing you do, summon this out, pop the Arise Heart, and you're good to play from there.
Very good, very nice.
Non-engine, Ash, generically good this format. Gamma.
Now, I need to ask, how did you like Gamma? Because not a lot of people playing Gamma right now, man.
Yeah,
so I'm
not a
just
lot
curious.
of people are. Gamma is actually insane. Against Cash, it gets the body off the field, which is huge because they can't just like keep extending with Theosis and Rise Heart. Also, this is the best Ash bait in the game. Always has been.
Yep.
So there was multiple times I summoned this on my own turn. Arise Heart's effect to banish to attach is mandatory, so you can like bait the Arise Heart and then Gamma it on your turn. Against like Trap Tricks or against Labyrinth. Sarah and the hand effects are both very baitable, so you can bait those out, Gamma on your turn, and then you have 2 extra bodies to play with.
Nice.
And then this also protects you from Shifter. So after,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So games 2 and 3 against Cash, you want this in your deck. I leave it in going first. Lubellion and Chaos Space always bait Ash, especially when they see you're not playing like Wombo Combo Rocket stuff. A lot of people will Ash the Lubellion, so that comes up. And then I played 3 Skill Drain.
Now, I need to ask, why are you playing skill? First of all, beautiful ultis, by the way.
I pulled all of them, so the card was telling me to play it.
So, but yeah, now I'm thinking, if you're playing skill drain, does that mean you just end on like a big board with just like 3k beat sticks and just like...
This deck plays the same as Labyrinth almost.
Oh, okay.
So this card's obviously insane.
Yeah.
Seals is your compulse. You're just trying to not die and have a bunch of follow-up, and then you can usually win the game from there. All your stuff works under Chaos or under Skill Drain. These work under it. Nocta works under it. These are graveyard effects.
That's true.
This can send itself. Tiding lets you play around it. So when you go regain summon back magma, activate the effect, chain tiding, bounce, whatever they have, and so the magma resolves still. The other big reason, Branded Beast does the same thing. If you activate any effect, you can just tribute it off the board. It'll resolve still under Skill Drain. And this, plus the spell and Skill Drain, is very, very hard for a lot of decks to deal with. Because you have removal every turn, recursion, an additional draw every single turn, and they can't use monster effects.
Wow, yeah, that's kind of insane.
Also, Seals is insane again. This is last format it was bad because of the Shufflers and Bestials, but now it always resolves, and it works under Skill Drain.
Oh, that's true.
So Skill Drain is actually very good in this deck. It's even going second, like, you just don't let them set up too big of a board, set the Skill Drain, they're not going to kill you, summon Bestials on their turn to defend yourself, and you're good to go from there.
Right.
So 40 card main deck, you want to see the Skill Drain.
You want to see the Skill Drain.
And your starters. You want to see Chaos Space, Skill Drain every game, so that's why you're just playing 40.
Very nice.
Extra deck. 2 Seals. You make 2 a lot. You can also recycle it with Regained, so a lot of games you actually make 3. You don't go for an OTK push a lot of the time without the Rockets. It's hard to, but also you don't want to play into Nib. Nib's big this format.
True.
So you just make this, set up the spell and trap, and you're usually fine from there. This outs a Rise Heart, it outs Shangri-La, it outs a lot of stuff this format, so it's very good, and it's always follow-up. Romulus, pretty much, like I said, every turn you're going for this, grab your Ravine, make seals, have the spell and trap, some hand traps, pass from there, and this gives you really good follow-up. Striker Pitsy, you're not using either of the effects really, you just need link ones.
Man, when do you think we can get Striker Dragon back to 3, man?
I think we can. We got Mind Hacker in the format, so I need more than one of it. But luckily in this deck, you just need something to link off with.
Right.
And then for just some generic links, IP, you can sometimes make turn 1, or after turn 1, if they don't have Nib, you can make this plus seals just for a little additional interruption. Dark is just a link climb, and it's just generic in this deck, even though it's not as good this format, it's still something. You can make this with Lubellion, and it's just awkward for some decks to deal with. Unicorn Access Code, just for removal. And then, this is the nice thing with the deck too, is you don't lose to D-Barrier. So Labyrinth is good at looping D-Barrier, and that's how they beat Branded in other decks. But this deck doesn't care about it. You do play some XYZs, but you don't need them. So you play Tum.
Oh, okay, right.
The Bestials let you get to any dragon in your deck. Bouncer is a generic 6 that you can make, and it negates a monster effect. So if they have like an Arise Heart or just any sort of monster interruption, you can make this, negate the interruption, and then make Zeus on top of it.
All right, hold on. I need to ask, how many times did you go into Bouncer?
I didn't make it yesterday, but it came up in testing quite a bit.
Okay.
A lot of these are flex spots, the XYZs. So you could cut it for something else, but I like having like a guaranteed Zeus line. I don't think there's good generic 6s to use as your Zeus fodder otherwise. So it's just nice to have if you need it. Fan is really good removal, and Wallow just comes up in some weird spots where you just need to beat over things, interrupt their graveyard, steal a talents. It can make all your guys really big to attack over awkward stuff. So it comes up in some of the more rogue matchups, but just utility cards. Like I said, you can cut these for other things. There's a lot of other good dragon cards you can play. Side deck, I wasn't super prepared with my first package, but the Kaijus.
Yep.
I played 6. These I think should have been Game of Seals. I just couldn't find my other ones, so I just played these. Then The nice thing with these two is all the BYSTIALs can attack over them. You can also play, and I'm going to test out the Radian and like one of the light kaijus. That way you can chaos space them if you draw 2 of them. You can also use like seals to bounce it back and then discard it for fodder. And then it gives your graveyard more banished fodder as well. So these are easier to clear after you give it to them, but the other ones have some like attribute synergy.
All right.
I played Bell. This was to help with the Labyrinth matchup. It stops one of the welcome cards against Runic, stops the field spell, and then a lot of other decks that has some application. Against Branded, it hits the Albion Rebellion. So it's just a good generic card to hit like some of the other matchups. The kaijus are mainly for cash, and then you have like cards for the other decks. I also played Cosmics. I think these could have been evenly. The last couple weeks, this was more for like the local environment. I was playing against a lot of Runic, and this trades against the field spell really well. So I thought about playing this. I think a lot of people moved to Trap Trick, so evenly might be better, but this is still good because they have protection from Lightning Storm. This still trades well against a lot of other decks, so it was fine. I said it in a few times. And then for going first, you just put the Judgments in.
Yep, Judgments. Judgments and skill drains.
Yeah, so this protects the skill drain. It protects you from evenly, which doesn't usually hurt too much, but it protects your back row, and they waste their battle phase. So that makes sure that you're not going to die, and if you don't die, you're fine. And if they don't have blowout cards, it just stops engine, stops an extra deck summon, and then you're usually fine from there. I thought about testing out, I might test out Eradicators as well. That's what this could be, just to hit like a bunch of spell cards at once. But the side deck's fairly flexible. I think the kaijus were really good. With a lot of people playing the Lance to protect the Rise Heart, it's just guaranteed. You know, you don't want them mashing your Eclipse or lancing it and then you can't play. So I like having the guaranteed removal.
All right. My last question is, anything in the main deck you would change?
Main deck, not so much. I'd like to find room for another Seifert. You could either like trim down on this package, or you could, I'm playing 2 of this. I sided out 1 a lot, but you could just cut this down to 1, but it is nice to have 2. Something people don't realize with this card and the trap is that these are once per copy effects for one of them. So if you have 2 copies, you can pop 2 cards and you can reborn twice per turn. The draw is a hard once per turn, but if you have 2 of these, you can reborn 2 monsters every turn. So that's where under Skill Drain, you can get a lot of advantage going by having 2 of these. And I thought about siding a second one of these as well, but you just don't want to like brick on them either, and you have a lot of access to them. But that's something that you could do. You can also play the Red Eyes Baby Dragon package just to give you more stuff in the graveyard to get going. But other than that, I think a lot of the engine and the non-engine cards were really solid.
All right, awesome, man. Thank you for your time, dude.
Yeah, of course.